All right, guys. So, welcome to Let's Talk Television, Season 3, Episode 4 here. We are here. So I've been having some difficulties here with the live stream. That's why this one is also a few minutes late. I had it scheduled for, I believe, like 15-20 minutes ago. And that's why this one's late. So, and it seems like I'm still getting the same issue. So, let me know if it's, not working properly or anything like that. But just kind of been a little bit frustrating. But hopefully it is okay now. It looks okay right now, for me. So anyways, we're going to roll with it. We're going to try it out. And if I guess it gets really bad, then we'll see what happens. But anyways, as of now, everything, it looks pretty good right now. Yeah, okay, so now it looks good. Everything's going well. The audio is all working here, and everything is looking good. So, it is a packed episode today. We're talking, of course, the spotlight in today's episode is Ozark getting renewed for a third season. Then, of course, as you can see in the description of every episode, before the episode actually starts, I will have all the news that I'm going to be talking about in the description, so you guys can take a look at that. You can take a look at the spotlight, and then you can take a look at, the 4 or 5 other news topics that I'll be talking about, and also gives you guys a chance, you know what I'm talking about, and maybe you can, add your comments, add your thoughts to the discussion as well, and I'd love to hear that. So anyways, like I said, quite a lot of stuff to cover, so I want to kind of jump right into it. I don't want this episode to be a super long one, but I know it could be for sure with all the stuff that we have to talk about. So, anyway, so I'd love to hear what you guys think of each and every one, or sorry, not any or every topic here that we're talking about. That would be awesome, and really appreciate those of you who are tuning in live. I really do, appreciate that. Thank you. And the channel has been growing really crazy lately, or at least crazy for me, in terms of subscribers and views, likes, and comments. Just the interaction has been amazing lately, especially with the couple reviews I did for the pilots this fall have been really great, and we're going to talk a little bit about those pilots today's episode. So anyways, guys, consider subscribing as well if you're watching this and you enjoy what you're seeing. That would be awesome, and leave a like. So anyways, guys, let's get right into this one. I'm just going to do a little bit of a check just to make sure that we're still good. Okay, yeah, so today it was weird because, I just kind of did everything normal, right? And for some reason today, the live streaming, it wasn't cooperating that well. So anyways, so let's jump into the spotlight topic of this week. And this one is coming to us from The Hollywood Reporter. And this one is about Ozark. So Ozark renewed for third season at Netflix. So the article actually, on The Hollywood Reporter at least, is not that long. It's pretty much just a brief article saying it's getting renewed. And I'm not sure if Netflix has put out that kind of teaser announcement, the renewal announcement that they usually do for their series. I'm not sure if they've done that yet, but maybe they have. I haven't seen it yet. But anyways, it's usually just typically, a 10-12 second little clip of something in the season and, showing us that they are doing another season. So anyways, that'll be cool to see when it comes out. And if it has already, I gotta go check that out. So anyways, let's read a, couple sentences here from this article, and then we'll, go into discussing it. So, Netflix is going back to the Ozarks. The Jason Bateman, Laura Linney drama will return in 2019 for another round of 10 episodes. The pickup comes after Ozark returned August 31st with its second season. While the freshman run was a breakout among critics, Bateman earned Emmy nominations for lead actor and directing, which he didn't end up winning, but still, yes, he did get nominated. Season 2 returned with more mixed reviews. Season 2 currently has a 70% score on Rotten Tomatoes, up a smidgen from the first run. And that's all I have. That's essentially all that the Hollywood Reporter article talked about, and I couldn't really find any other articles that went a little bit more in depth, right? So this is kind of, the news is, it's announced, right, that it is coming back for a third season, and I thought I would take this opportunity to kind of talk more about Season 2. So if you have seen Ozark, and you've seen Season 1 and Season 2, you're all the way caught up, I would really like to know which season that you prefer, because I've heard a lot of people, even with this Rotten Tomatoes score, saying Season 2 was better, right? And I've also heard a lot of people saying Season 1 was better. And for me, it's tough, because I watched season 1, obviously last year, right? And I always come back to this point of the recency bias, because I think it's a huge thing in television and movies for that matter too, right? Why else do you think movies, most of the movies that are contending for the Oscars, right, the best picture or whatever, they all come out at the end of the year, right? Right now we have, First Man, A Star is Born, and those movies, and you have them coming out closer to the actual, the awards, which is in February, right? And so that's just a great example of a recency bias that's going to play a part in a lot of things. So I totally understand if people are like, well, I just saw season 2 last week, and they're more likely to say, oh, well, season 2 is better. So I understand that. And again, it's tough for me because I just finished season 2, I believe last week. I was really slacking off. I think what I did, or maybe I still have not finished it. I think I have one more episode to go actually. Because I really got into it. The first 6 or 7 episodes went really quick for me, the first 6 episodes, and then I think I watched like episode 7 one week, episode 8 one week, and episode 9 I just watched last week, so I think I have one more to go, because I don't think I've seen the finale yet. So anyways, I'm slow. I'm not, I don't love, I don't know, Netflix releases, 10 episodes in one night. I'm not the kind of person that's going to stay up, in all hours of the night and watch, and kind of binge watch it. I like to kind of enjoy it a little bit more. That's also why I like watching live TV a little bit better. But anyways, so yeah, so I don't think I've finished yet. But so I've seen season 2 a little bit more recently than season 1. And it's tough. I mean, honestly, I think season 2, may have actually been a better season. Right, in terms of, the writing and the storylines and the plots. It was a little bit more, a little bit more fleshed out. There was a little bit more story than just, this character does this character does this, and, they're going to run into each other. You know what I mean? But season 1, I will say, though, had that kind of, that feel, right? That it just first came out, and it had that kind of, that kind of, hoodwink some people, I guess, a little bit, right? Like, I don't know if that's maybe the correct word I'm looking for, but, it kind of had that spark, right? Just when it first came out. And I think season 2 was definitely lacking that. I don't think that it ever actually kind of captured that feeling that people had in season 1, especially with that premiere, right? That premiere was pretty, powerful, right? So I think season 2 lacked that. But overall, I think season 2 was a better kind of story-based character development season. And the performances were great in both seasons. Jason Bateman steals the show. Laura Linney is also very good. I don't think she gets all the credit that she deserves for her performance in this. So she's great as well. And the kids are both pretty good as well. Trying to think of, Jason Butler Harner. I really appreciate his performance in Ozark. I think he does a great job. What's Peter Mullen as Jacob Snell? He's great. So anyways, you could go down the line. The performances are really great in both seasons. I don't think that could be a differing factor at all, right? But yeah, so anyways, I'm happy that we're getting a third season. I think this was kind of a given, to be honest, this news, right? It wasn't a huge surprise for a lot of us, because of how well the show has done the last 2 years. But yeah, I will say, I think season 2 kind of, the buzz and just the general attention and popularity of it did go a little bit down. I think it did decrease between seasons there. And that also may be because it was, a year and a month. So it's 13 months in between the seasons there. And for some people, that's a little bit too long. And they're not, maybe they're going to forget about the show, right? And then maybe watch it a little bit later. So anyways, that's definitely a possibility as well. So now the second season has been out, I think, about, a month and a half. Right, and so I think most people who wanted to see it would have probably either seen the season or started the season by now. But anyways, Netflix, I think whether season 2, it would have had to done really, really bad for them not to renew for a season 3. And I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I haven't seen the finale yet. I really don't think so, because I think... No, I haven't. So I think I have one episode to go. I have the finale to go, and we'll see. So I'm really looking forward to a season 3, though. I will be tuning in. I will be watching it. Jason Bateman's performance is amazing. So I'm not sure that I still don't know if he deserved that Emmy nomination for Best Actor with, Now, yes, he does give a great performance in Ozark. He steals the show, for sure. I mean, without him, Ozark wouldn't be Ozark, right? Well, you could say that about a lot of shows, but in particular, I mean, Ozark is really guided by him. And, but if you just look at the field that he was in there with the best actor, I feel like you could have had a couple other actors a little bit more above him in terms of that award. But anyways, he didn't win that one. He did get nominated, and that's just how it is. So anyways, I'm looking forward to a third season. I think this is good news for Netflix, good news for Ozark, and I'm looking forward to it. I think that the show eventually, I mean, it's called Ozark, right? And it's taking place in the Ozarks, right? And that's kind of the big concept of the show. But I think, if this kind of turns into a Breaking Bad situation where you get, 5 seasons or maybe even more than 5 seasons, I think it's going to get a little bit tedious with having the same kind of concept and the same Ozark storyline. With kind of the setting and the environment. So in that way, I think eventually this show, now, whether they actually leave the Ozarks or not, but I think this show is eventually going to have to, maybe not in season 3, but if they go further, kind of transform into something a little bit more broader than just, this little area in this rundown town in Missouri, right, in the Ozarks. So that is something that I would say. Although, I mean, you could definitely make the counter argument in saying, well, the whole show is based around the Ozarks. If they leave it, then, the whole concept is gone. But I don't know about that, because, I mean, we have seen moments where they're not in Ozark, right? In season 1, when the kids and Wendy left, right? And they left, and they were, I believe, where were they? I think they were going towards Chicago, where they were all from, and we saw that a little bit playing into it. So I'm, and especially in the premiere too, it wasn't based in Ozark. So, so I think there's, definitely some possibilities there going forward. But season 3, I think it's going to be more of the same. More or less, and then eventually, I mean, if we get more seasons, we're gonna have to see where they go for this. So, anyways, I think they have a story that could go on a few more seasons, but again, I think Jason Bateman's character, if you're gonna go 5 seasons, let's say, like Breaking Bad, or 6 or 7, whatever, I think Jason Bateman's character is gonna have to turn into something a little bit more than just kind of his lowly position of money laundering, if you know what I mean. So, and they have this constant storyline of, like, he wants to get out of it. He doesn't, want to keep doing this. And I think that is something that might have to change, again, if they want to do more seasons in this story. And maybe that's something that they're already building to now. So, for sure. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think of that, of Ozark being renewed for a 3rd season at Netflix. And will you be tuning in? Will you be watching? And really, my main question is, which season did you like better, or which season do you feel what was just what, not necessarily that you enjoyed, but just from an objective standpoint, which season do you think was better in, like, story building, character development, and stuff like that? I would argue it was season 2, but is what it is. So let me know which one you guys liked better, because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on that one. So anyways, guys, now let's move on to the next topic, and this one is a little bit of a somber kind of tone to it, an emotional one this week, and I will say this one is from last Saturday, and very unfortunately, actually, I did Let's Talk Television last Saturday at, I believe it was like 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and this news came out about 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so this actually just missed getting onto the show, but I thought, even though it's a week old, I would talk about it in this episode, because I just really wanted to share my thoughts, and it's big news for The Walking Dead kind of fans, community, and everyone involved with the show. And so I thought I would talk about it, and, again, kind of an emotional tone here, for sure, so, it is what it is, some things very emotional, and there's been, some emotional, entertainment, and deaths, and, for me, at least, this is definitely up there, with people in entertainment, passing away this year. So, anyways, here we go. The Walking Dead star Scott Wilson has passed away, and this one's from comicbook.com. They do a good job of covering a lot of the stuff about Walking Dead, and they do it in a timely manner too. They do, typically do it, they get these stories out, these articles out very quick. So I do suggest them if you're looking for any Walking Dead news or anything like that. Definitely suggest comicbook.com. So here we go. Scott Wilson has passed away at the age of 76, and this was on Saturday, October 6th, so exactly a week ago. Wilson was confirmed to be returning, and this is maybe the biggest part of this whole thing, is Wilson was confirmed to be returning to The Walking Dead during the New York Comic-Con panel being held at Madison Square Garden. The actor had been active on the Comic-Con circuit around the country throughout the year, having retired the role of Herschel Green on AMC's popular zombie show in its fourth season. The 76-year-old actor's resume extends across dozens of impressive roles, with the first coming in 1967's In the Heat of Night. He has, however, long been known for his 1980 role in the Ninth Configuration. Tributes to the actor began to pop up across social media on Saturday evening. So, now I did get the chance to grab a couple of these tributes from a couple of the crew on The Walking Dead. So I will show that to you guys right now. So I have right here. Okay, so we have a couple here for sure. So the first one here to the very left is from Lauren Cohan, obviously, and she posted a picture. I believe this was on Instagram, and so she posted a nice picture with Herschel or Scott Wilson, right from it looks like the set. And then to the right of that, we have Norman Reedus's. He's Big Bald Head on Instagram, I believe, and Twitter. And he posted that picture, kind of a odd picture, but obviously something that is kind of personal to him and Scott Wilson. And he says in his little in his caption here, "Never met a guy I liked more than this one here ever. I'm gonna miss you so much, my main squiz." So that's again, kind of a personal remark. And then Michael Cudlitz, who is no longer on the show, and I don't think did he ever. No, I don't think he ever interacted with Herschel. Looking back at it, I don't think so. And I think maybe he would have met Scott Wilson. But anyway, just being part of the Walking Dead family, I think everyone kind of knows, who Scott Wilson is, even if they've never, quite met him or befriended him. And anyway, so Michael Cudlitz says on Twitter, "Rest easy, my friend, rest easy." And then we get Tom Payne, who plays Jesus now, and for sure he did not meet Herschel or Scott Wilson. And he says, "Goodbye, Scott Wilson, you absolute legend." So those are just some of the little tributes that I found on Twitter and Instagram, social media. There's a ton more. Greg Nicotero posted a very nice post, very long, and shared his thoughts and his prayers and everything. So that was a great one, but I wasn't able to find that and being able to put it on here. But if you're interested, look up Greg Nicotero. I believe on Instagram it was, and you can see that one. Very, very great. So anyways, but you get the idea here. Lots of tributes from the cast and crew for Scott Wilson, right? So anyways, and I really like Tom Payne's, right? You absolute legend. So that was great. Anyways, guys, again, I'm sure you guys can find a ton of these tributes, and if you follow a lot of the cast, I'm sure you already saw these. So, anyways, so very emotional news, right? So, very, very sad that he, passed away, and he was 76, right? And so, a lot of people are kind of shocked, because even though he was 76, he was still, like the article says here, he was still very active on the Comic-Con circuit, going to all these events, and he was scheduled to be at, I believe, the Walker Stalker event later this month, too. So he was still, at 76, going around all these events and meeting all these fans and speaking at these things. So that is, something that's really awesome, something really great about Scott Wilson. Shows how dedicated he is and how really, thankful he was for the role of Herschel. And it may have actually been his biggest, well, for sure, I think his biggest TV role. But, obviously he was known for some of his earlier works like the Ninth Configuration. And he was great in The Walking Dead. Let me tell you, I mean, his performance as Herschel Green, and Herschel was such a impactful character, such a significant character, and that his death may actually be the saddest death of the whole series. And we've had some very sad deaths, especially in that season 7 premiere with Abraham and Glenn. So, it'd be close between Herschel and Glenn, I would say, for the saddest death. But for sure, I mean, what a great character and what an amazing performance by Scott Wilson. And now, maybe the biggest news of this whole thing here from last week is he was confirmed to be returning to The Walking Dead during this Comic-Con panel by Angela Kang. She actually said it. And, you know, the way it worked out was just very, very tragic, because she announces this at New York Comic-Con, and I believe it was 2 or 3 hours after she made that announcement live at New York Comic-Con, this news broke of Scott Wilson passing away. And so that was maybe the most tragic news of it all in this whole thing. But it doesn't say in this article, but I did some more research, and it is, it has been reported that Scott Wilson already filmed his part in this appearance that he's going to be making. So that means, it's not confirmed, but it may mean that that might actually be Scott Wilson's last credited appearance in anything. So that would be, I think that would be very fitting for Scott Wilson, in that he gave such an amazing performance, and how dedicated he was to this show, in that it will be his last appearance in anything, his last credited work. So I think that would be fitting for Scott Wilson, but I'm not sure. That hasn't been confirmed yet. So anyways, but it has been confirmed that we will see him, and he did finish his production on the set for this season. So obviously, a lot of speculation is that his part, in this season is going to be a flashback for Rick, right? Whether he dies or lives and just leaves the show, either way, we know John Bernthal's coming back, and we also know that Sonequa Martin Green and Sasha is coming back. So all three of these will most likely be in that flashback sequence, we all believe. And Scott Wilson, obviously, this would have been a small part. I'm guessing maybe a day of filming for Scott Wilson. And so it is done. So that will be a very, very tear-jerking episode. Not even just to see Rick leaving, but to see Scott Wilson as Herschel reprising his role now that we know he is gone, and he will never be, reprising that role again. And so very, very kind of somber news here for sure from last week. But I can't wait now to see the episode with Scott Wilson, maybe his final work, but definitely his final appearance in the Walking Dead TV series. Very, very, very sad. But again, we have to recognize Scott Wilson had an amazing, run in television and acting and film and everything, right? He was a really great, really great actor and really great, I guess celebrity, or just a really great person in general. So anyways, of course that has to be recognized as well with this sad news. You kind of have to look at some of the positives here and look back at his, his legendary life, as Tom Payne kind of put it there. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think of this one. Let me know if you're looking forward now to Scott Wilson's final episode. And they did address also, they had Talking Dead after the premiere on Sunday night, and unfortunately they actually recorded Talking Dead before this news came out on Friday, I believe. And so that's why Sunday night they didn't talk about it at all. And that was really surprising to some people. And I think a lot of people tweeted at Chris Hardwick and Talking Dead and said why aren't you talking about this and whatever. But it was because they already pre-recorded it. So anyways, I assume that we're going to get a lot of stuff this week, tomorrow, from Talking Dead and The Walking Dead, just talking about this news and maybe some more tributes. So anyways, looking forward to that. And very, very sad news here. And we'll have to really look forward to the episode with him in it, which should be, I think, episode 6 or 5 as of now. So anyways, guys, let's move on to the next topic here. Let me know what you think of that one. Okay, so this one is New Amsterdam gets back 9 order at NBC. So this one comes to us from Deadline Hollywood. And I really like this article because they went a little bit more in depth to the actual ratings numbers. And I thought that was really important. So here we go. We have the first member of the fall 2018 freshman class to get a back order. NBC has picked up an additional 9 episodes of new drama series New Amsterdam, bringing the full season order to 22 episodes. The news came after another solid ratings show for The Rookie last night. New Amsterdam is one of 2 hot newcomers at NBC this fall, but there is no backorder news yet for the other, Manifest. So that's also, I like this article too, because they go in and talk about a little bit of Manifest. Likely part of the delay has to do with the heavily serialized nature of Manifest, which often leads to limited season orders. New Amsterdam is a medical procedural, so making a 22 episode season easier to pull it off, right? Just easier to pull off. So New Amsterdam has averaged a 1.6 rating in adults 18 to 49 and 7.6 million viewers overall in live plus same-day ratings, and ranks as the number 2 series behind only NBC's Manifest. And here's a quote from Lisa Katz and Tracy Pekostka, who are the co-presidents of scripted programming at NBC. And they say, "It's thrilling to come out of the gate this season with a series that has resonated so well with audiences. This show hits the sweet spot of the NBC brand, positivity, emotion, and incredible storytelling." So, really great stuff here. I'm going to be honest, I did not check out New Amsterdam. I am not a medical procedure kind of guy. I was thinking about checking out The Good Doctor, but that's as close as I got to checking out a medical procedure. My good friend, the television nerd, was trying to, he checked that one out, and he wasn't a fan of medical procedures, and he really enjoyed that. So, anyways, New Amsterdam I did not check out for myself, but really great to hear this news, and crazy because obviously, I'm watching Manifest, and I care about that, and so I thought this was very interesting because you look at NBC, I mean, you hear this, it ranks as the number 2 series only behind another NBC series in Manifest, right? Like, it's crazy. So NBC has done an amazing job so far this fall. Definitely the winners of the fall freshman class so far, in that they've already renewed a back order for one of the shows, and the other show is the number 1 series of the fall. So, they got 2 of the biggest shows of this fall already. Or at least, sorry, 2 of the new, like the newest shows, right? The new shows. And so this was really great for NBC, and a 1.6 rating in the demo of 18 to 49 is really great, and a 7.6 million viewers, live viewers, is crazy, right? And I think Manifest got, I think it was 10 something. I reported this on last episode, I believe. And 2 episodes ago, and they were sitting at like 10 million for that premiere. And I'm not sure where that's gone now, but for sure, it's continued to be kind of up there. So really great. And at 7.6 million live viewers, I mean, just take into account all the online streaming that they do now. And I think NBC does, I'm not sure if they have like their own streaming per se, but they definitely have it so you can go on and watch on their website. And that, of course, is not included in that 7.6 million. So, I think you could even add maybe 1 million to that number with the online streaming stuff. And you'd be pretty confident in saying 8.6 would probably be a more accurate number. So anyways, really great stuff for NBC, really great stuff for New Amsterdam. I've heard a lot of people really like it. So like in terms of, the fans, but also, critics' reviews have also been very good. And now remember, New Amsterdam is not going to rival an HBO series, not at all, right? It's a medical procedure on network television, but for a medical procedure on a network television, it is really, really great. So to receive a back order even this quick is very good. And if you're not familiar with the back order, it's essentially, so the series, so essentially, right, so they get a pilot, right? So then they get the pilot, then NBC picks up the pilot and says, okay, you can produce 13 episodes for us, right? And that's a full season order. And then they call it a back order when the show is doing so well in those first 13 episodes that they add 9 more episodes and make it a 22 episode season. And of course, these 9 episodes have not been filmed yet. So it's typically happens, I think it's about a month or 2 after the end of the 13 episodes, then we start to get these back 9. So it's going to be a little bit of a break in between there before we get these last 9 episodes of the season, because they have to film them, of course. So anyways, really great news for NBC. They're killing it this fall. Really wish they would have stuck with the Brave for another season this fall. That would have been awesome. I really liked the Brave last fall. But is what it is. I'm glad, they're doing well, and New Amsterdam is doing really well. If you checked out the show, let me know what you think of it, and let me know if I should check it out. I mean, I think I'm only 2 or 3 episodes behind, so I could get into it, but I'm really just not I really am not a medical procedure kind of guy. That's just not something I typically enjoy, or typically even check out. So anyways, but I'm willing to give it a go if everyone's saying it's great, and I kind of have to see it. obviously I'll give it a chance. So anyways, really great news for NBC, really great news for New Amsterdam, and I'm sure a lot of people will be looking forward to the back nine for this season. So anyways, let me know what you think of that one as the rest of these. All right, so the next one is more just kind of an interest piece, not necessarily a lot of news in this one, but, I guess a little bit of news, and if you've been paying attention to this project, for sure this will be significant news for you. But if you're like me, and you hadn't heard of this project before this, maybe this is just more something that will pique your interest. So this one comes from Variety, and this one is Helen Hunt joins BBC's World War II drama. So this is going to be a very interesting series. So let me read the article here, or at least, the excerpt. Oscar winner Helen Hunt has joined World on Fire, the upcoming World War II drama for the BBC. She takes a lead role alongside Leslie Manville, who's from Phantom Thread, in the drama from Peter Bowker, and he's known for the A Word. I haven't seen that. The 7-part series tells the story of the first year of the war as seen through the eyes of ordinary people from Britain, Poland, France, Germany, and the United States. Filming starts this week in Prague, and I think this was published on Thursday, so going to be happening this weekend, or I guess this next week. The shoot will also take place in Manchester, London, Paris, and Berlin. Damien Timmer, who's the managing director of Mammoth Screen, who I guess is the production company, says, "From the siege of Warsaw to Dunkirk, the fall of Paris, and the Battle of Britain, here is an epic story told on a human scale with a truly international cast." And then also Piers Wenger, the controller of BBC Drama, said, Pete, and he's referring to Peter Bowker, who's the showrunner, I assume, or the writer at least. Pete's funny, humane, and poignant writing gives us a perspective on those early days of the Second World War, which we have never seen before. So I really just thought I'd include this because it sounds very interesting for someone like me who's kind of into that history aspect in the World War, history and that storytelling. I'm really looking forward to the Terror season 2, where they're going to tackle the Japanese internment camps during World War II in the United States. So that's going to be very interesting, and I'm just kind of interested in that topic of World War II and kind of, again, that storytelling, and I love seeing kind of adaptations of that, like Dunkirk the movie, right? That, really interesting to me. So I think this is going to be a very good series. It's on BBC, and so typically I think that's an international, I think that's an international program, because I've heard, is it kind of based in the UK, I think? I'm not totally sure because I haven't really checked out a lot of stuff from the BBC before. But yeah, so anyways, it's really great to hear that Helen Hunt has also joined the project. So it sounds like they got a really great cast that they're working with here and a great showrunner. So this really has some great potential to turn out to be very good. It says a 7-part series, so it sounds like it's going to be kind of a limited series kind of format here, and we're going to get 7 episodes. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not sure what the tone of it is going to be, because he does say the controller of BBC Drama says Pete's funny. So I'm not sure if maybe there's going to be a little bit of comedic relief in there or not. I'm not sure exactly what that means. So that would be something I'm kind of interested in learning what the tone of this series is going to be. But anyways, we'll have to see. He says it is something like that we've never seen before. So that already sounds interesting to me, and I'm looking forward to it. So anyways, if you guys are looking forward to that, I'd suggest, keep it on your radar. I'm not sure when it comes out. It doesn't say when it's going to be coming out, but obviously 2019, I'm thinking, would be a safe bet. Probably, I would assume the summer or the fall of 2019, but I'm not sure how fast BBC usually puts this stuff out, so I could be totally wrong with that one. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of that one. Let me know if this is something that interests you and something that you might want to check out. World on Fire on BBC. So write that down, or at least kind of, keep that in your mind if that's something that you're interested in. And I'm sure next year it'll be coming, and we'll have to see how it is. All right, let's get on to the next topic here. We have a couple topics left, and then I'll go over my weekly notables and kind of end off the episode there. Of course, if you have anything to add, any thoughts, comments, questions, leave them in the chat, and I will get to them at the end of the episode, and we can talk. So anyways, this next one's a little bit controversial. I wasn't sure if I wanted to kind of go into this, but I thought I talk about the Deuce a lot on the show, and I did talk a little bit about James Franco as well on the show, and I feel like this is something that I kind of need to address, or at least, kind of bring attention to. So, of course, there's a lot of controversial topics in news, and just in television and movie news, of course, right? And especially right now with this kind of movement that's going on, there's going to be a lot of controversial stuff. So, anyways, this one is from Deadline Hollywood, and it is titled, Maggie Gyllenhaal argues the Deuce should not be shut down over James Franco's allegations. So, the heading's a little misleading here because the actual article goes in depth here, and it actually makes sense. If you really understand, you read what Maggie Gyllenhaal is saying, it makes sense, and she really backs it up well. So, it reads, Maggie Gyllenhaal, a producer and star of The Deuce, HBO's gritty, dramatic examination of misogyny, sexual violence, and exploitation in the grimy Times Square of the 1970s, says shutting down the show in response to misconduct allegations against co-star James Franco would be the opposite of the right thing to do. Gyllenhaal says the series is about transactional sex. It's about inequality in the entertainment business. You couldn't be more at the center of that conversation than The Deuce. Gyllenhaal said that the sexual misconduct allegations made against Franco earlier this year prompted her as a Deuce producer to speak with other female cast and crew about their experiences with star and executive producer Franco. We spoke to, and this is her saying this, we spoke to every woman on the crew and in the cast to find out if they felt respected and what their experience of working with James was, and everyone said that they had been totally respected by him. And then she says, I feel like it would have been the wrong consequence to those accusations to shut our show down. It would have been like the opposite of the right thing to do. And yet I believe that there should be consequences for disrespecting or assaulting women. Of course I do. So there's a lot more in this article. I think this was all taken from an interview with Deadline Hollywood. And so there's a lot more that she talks about just outside of The Deuce as well, with her kind of career and also the performances, the performance that she gives with this character Candy in The Deuce. So a lot more there if you want to look that one up. Very interesting article. But this was kind of the main focus of it with this interview. And for sure, I totally understand where she's coming from. And this was also, big news because I was following The Deuce. A lot of people were saying, oh, James Franco's not going to be in season 2. There's a lot of buzz about the trailer not showing a lot of James Franco. And a lot of people were like, oh, he's getting cut out of the story now because of these allegations, right? And turns out, none of that was true. David Simon kind of stuck by his guy, and also Maggie, well, not necessarily Maggie Gyllenhaal, but Maggie Gyllenhaal also made sure, right, she did the background, she asked all the women on the set, part of the cast and the crew, if they were okay with him, right, if he had ever done that to them, and they said they had totally been respected by him, as she says in this article. As she's quoted for saying. So, for sure, I think she did her background. I think David Simon did his background. And David Simon has known James Franco for a long time, right? And I think David Simon knew, James Franco. He knows what kind of guy he is. And he was comfortable with having him staying on and still having him, play his character in the show. So, I think, both of those things combined were what let James Franco still be on the show and still give an amazing performance. Like, he is great in this show. He really is. Everyone is really great in the show, including Maggie Gyllenhaal. She's great. I feel like in season 1, James Franco was the center. He was kind of the main character. But now season 2, they kind of shifted, and Maggie Gyllenhaal has been kind of that main focus. But again, it makes sense with the story too, with the change in times. It makes a little bit more sense, especially with what they're trying to tackle with the porn industry, and Maggie Gyllenhaal being a little bit more involved with that than Vincent, who is Franco's character in it. So, and also Franco plays 2 characters, and he plays twins. So, anyways, it would have been a big loss without James Franco for season 2, although they could have done it with the time skip for sure. But it would have been a lot different. It would have been kind of a different show. So, anyways, I really agree with Maggie Gyllenhaal. I really did not understand why people were saying, oh, these allegations against James Franco, The Deuce has got to be canceled. It's got to be over. I don't agree with that. I just can't agree with that because also with what she's saying, and even then, okay, well, if you want the show to end, that doesn't really solve that, like, so that puts, Maggie Gyllenhaal out of work. That puts, who are some of the other, well, Lawrence Gilliard Jr. Also does an amazing job in his role. Chris Coy is really great. I think her name is Emily Mead. Yeah, she's really great in season 2. And so just off the bat, that puts, 4 great actors who are given great performances out of work, right? Like, just like that, just canceling the show over one guy, right? And so, again, this kind of goes back to Roseanne a little bit, right? This kind of goes back to a little bit of Roseanne, although it's a different little thing because the show is literally her name, right? This show isn't called Franco, you know what I mean? For sure, or James Franco, whatever. So, anyways, but yeah, so I think that, canceling the show altogether would have totally defeated the purpose of actually kind of disciplining or punishing James Franco. I think it would have done the opposite. I think it would have punished the others more than him. So I think, okay, fair enough, those allegations are, enough to, disqualify James Franco from acting in this show. Okay, then you kind of, depart from him, you leave him out of season 2 or the rest of the show, and you go forward. I really don't understand the argument that this show has to be canceled, and I think Maggie Gyllenhaal's point is exactly right? This show is precisely about this movement, this current movement that's going on, and the stuff that happened in the 1970s, in this industry. So I think canceling the show, like she says, would be the opposite of the right thing to do. I totally agree with her here. But let me know what you think of this one. And I'm a pretty big fan of the Deuce. So I think a lot of these people were saying, oh, the show should be shut down. I don't think that they actually watched the show and could actually understand what it's about. And I think if you actually do watch the show, you understand what it's about, you kind of appreciate it. I don't think you would have made that argument. So anyways, it is what it is. I really like Maggie Gyllenhaal coming out and talking about this with Deadline Hollywood. So anyways, I do again suggest that article. Really great one. Really great read. So anyways, that'll just about do it for that one. Let me know what you think. All right, last topic for today's episode. Of this one. So this one is about 50 Cent. So you don't always talk about 50 Cent when it comes to this television news, but this one is pretty big news. All right, so 50 Cent signs massive multi-series deal with Starz. So this one's from Variety, and I believe it was an exclusive. So if you want to find it, I guess you have to go to Variety. Anyway, so this is big news for 50 Cent and also TV in general. I mean, this is pretty big news, all in all. So, anyways, artist and producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson has signed a new 4-year overall deal with Starz. Under the agreement, Jackson will continue to develop new scripted and unscripted projects exclusively for the premium service through his G Unit Film and Television Inc. banner. The deal represents a significant increase to Starz' investment in Jackson, who is the executive producer of drama series Power. Big fan of the show. Sources with knowledge of the agreement tell Variety that in full success in combination with Jackson's current series in development, it could prove to be worth as much as $150 million, this deal with 50 Cent. Chris Albrecht, the Starz CEO, says, both on screen and off, Curtis has proven that he can deliver content that our viewers want to watch. He is the real deal, and we have given him a real deal, with what I believe to be among the most significant deals to date for an executive producer in premium television, and he's not wrong about that one, for sure. Power has been a key program for Starz in its reinvention under Albrecht as a platform for premium original content. Season 4 averaged 9.3 million multi-platform viewers per episode, and Power, also the winner of 3 2018 NAACP Image Awards, I'm not sure what those are, is the most watched original series in Starz history. So, obviously we know the succession of Power and what 50 Cent has kind of brought to that show, along with Courtney Kemp Agbo and a couple other executive producers. So this is kind of similar, I think, to kind of Shonda Rhimes' deal with Netflix. Although, again, like 50 Cent isn't really a showrunner, and I don't think he writes any of the episodes, but he definitely has that creative input for a lot of it. So, and I really do, like, I do think he's truly consulted for the show. I think some people are like, oh, 50 Cent's an executive producer because he just pays into the show and he doesn't actually have an opinion. But I actually do think with this show, I think he really does have some input. in what happens, and where this story kind of goes, and also how the show is kind of marketed and branded. So, and he's done some really great stuff for the show. He has at least, I think, 2 or 3 songs that are featured in the show each season, and of course his song is the theme for the show. So, really great stuff for 50 Cent here, and I'm looking forward to what he's gonna put forward. Like, you know, he's kind of got this pressure now, and $150 million possible deal here for 4 years with Starz. What is he gonna do, right? The pressure is on him now to show us what he can do with this deal and kind of show his worth, right? And I think he's gonna be great. I'm not saying that he's not, but I'm just saying it's gonna be interesting to watch what he comes up with. So, and it's important to also know, right? Power has been so successful for Starz. And so to you know, up 50 Cent like this, or Curtis Jackson, whichever you want to refer to him as, I think this is, you know, really, really great news, and it was kind of a no-brainer for Starz. I think the biggest news about this, though, is the size of the deal, right? I don't think a lot of people expected this size of a deal for a guy like 50 Cent. But anyways, again, I think he even with this deal, though, he's continuing to be on Power. Like, I think he's still going to be an executive producer on that show. So, and they're also talking about a spin-off for Power as part of this deal. That's what 50 Cent wants to do. So I'm totally down for that. I really like Power. I always say this, I really enjoy the show because it's a show that literally any character, maybe besides the main character of the show, like literally just one character, could die in any given episode. Like, that is how the stakes are so high in that show, and it's just the twists and turns and the amount of just, you know, sheer action and stuff in the show is just insane. So that's probably the main reason I watch the show and enjoy it so damn much. And I'm really looking forward to the next season. Season 5 had a great cliffhanger this season, so we'll be looking forward to season 6. So anyways, really great news for 50 Cent and great news for Starz, up in one of their big guys in television and that entertainment, you know, business. So anyways, we'll have to see what happens with Starz. I mean, maybe 50 Cent kind of makes Starz into something bigger here, which would be obviously their goal with an $150 million deal, right? Anyways, let me know what you think of this one. If you watch Power, let me know what you think of the show, and what do you think of season 5? What do you think of that finale? That was crazy. Anyways, guys, let me know. So, anyways, that'll just about do it for all the news this week. Quickly, I'll go through my weekly notables for this week in television. So first, my notable episode of this week was hands down Better Call Saul Season 4, Episode 10, titled Winner. Happened on Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on AMC. This was maybe the best episode of the season, and it was the finale. So it was really, really great. It was near perfect. I would have liked to see Nacho in it, who is one of the bigger characters this season. They laid out a big storyline for him, but we never really got a payoff in this finale. So that was really the only negative of this one, but I thought it was so, so good. Really great episode here. I think I saw 3 or 4 episodes of television this week, so this one does kind of actually have some competition a little bit, but no, it was a great episode. Really great performances all around for sure. Notable performance, really Bob Odenkirk does deserve it, but I did give that to him last week, so I wanted to mix things up here. So I decided to give it to Lauren Cohan for The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 1, A New Beginning. She was really great in this episode. I mean, Bob Odenkirk is Bob Odenkirk, and he's in Better Call Saul, but Lauren Cohan also did an amazing job in this episode. She was kind of the focus, I would argue, in this premiere, and she did a really great job, and her character going forward is going to be a very interesting one. As we know, she is leaving the show in the next few episodes, so we're going to have to see where that goes, and if she's coming back for Season 10, which I think everyone is hoping for. So, anyways, Lauren Cohan gets the nod for notable performance from me, and let me know what you guys checked out this week in television, what episodes you liked, what performances you liked, and, you know, maybe what shows you're looking forward to this week. That would be awesome. So, anyways, guys, that will just about do it for this episode of Let's Talk Television. Again, if you're watching afterwards, let me know any questions, comments you have for any of this news. Be happy to discuss it with you guys. And if any questions you throw in the comments, I will add those to next week's episode, and I will read those out for the end of the episode next week. So, really appreciate it, guys. As always, thank you for tuning into this episode. Tackled a lot of news in this episode. There was a lot of stuff this week. There was actually 2 or 3 articles that I had to cut out because I just would have been going on for an hour and a half here with the episode. That's not something I want to do. So, anyways, guys, let me know what you thought of any and all the news that we shared today. And, let me know what you think of Let's Talk Television, and if you're enjoying this season. We'll go for another 8 episodes in this season, 8 weeks. Take a little bit of a week break, and then we'll be back with season 4. That's how I'm doing this. So that's also why the season names, maybe that might be a little confusing why it's the season, but anyways, that's what it is. So anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Leave any questions, comments, concerns in the comments, in the comments below, and be sure to discuss with you guys and also tackle them in next episode, like I said. So anyways, again, thank you so much for the support on the channel recently. Can't thank you guys enough. We're at 206 subscribers right now. That is amazing. I think we were at 180 something like a week and a half ago. So to gain 20 something subscribers in that time is insane for me. Really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. So anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for watching this one, and we'll catch you next week. Let's Talk Television happening Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, somewhere in between there. Really be great if you tune into that one as well. So anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it, and we'll see you next week for Let's Talk Television Season 4, Episode 5. See you guys. Thanks.